Welcome back to the channel, fellas. Today, I mean, we gotta go over it, right? The doc, the doc had a scumbag stream and talked about the allegations for like 20 minutes. So we're gonna go over it, and yeah, we're gonna see what he has to say.
For almost 4 years, champs, the public demanded to hear from the doc regarding the Twitch suspension. I guess since you all missed the point with my personal statement, maybe it's time to tell my side of the story. Huh, champs? You see, there was a lawsuit pending, and as part of that arbitration, all parties were not allowed to speak publicly about the case. I respected those rules. My lawsuit against Twitch was eventually resolved, as you all know. But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, again, I respected all the confidential obligations. But apparently Twitch's own disgruntled employees didn't feel the need to abide by those same obligations. Cody Connors, ex-Twitch employee, wasn't even involved, leaks Twitch's reported reason. Years later, Cody, why do this?
I also want to point out, he was using, before he actually like even said it, what his allegation was, or what he alleges the doc did to get banned from Twitch. He was using that as like bait to try and get people into his into his like shitty band concerts. Like it was really fucking, it was really weird, right? So I also I want to point that out, because that is like a really, I feel like that is an important part of the story that is somehow like you don't hear about that tidbit of information anymore. Like the guy used the ban and the reason for the ban as like tweets in tweets to promote his band. Like what? not that he's like, oh, here's why he didn't come to my show. Is more like, oh, maybe I'll tell you what he did at the show, like stuff like that. I didn't queue those tweets up. I should have, but they exist. I've seen them. That is us, okay? That's like against the Cody guy. I feel like that is weird. That is really weird. And obviously, I don't know this Cody guy. All I know is from the whole controversy. So you have to take it with a grain of salt too. The guy could be like super fucking friendly or the biggest douche on the planet. I have no idea of knowing. But using someone else's ban or reason for the ban as like some cloud chase type thing, I think that's fucked up, to say the least. I feel like, again, because I haven't seen that mentioned in a while, and I feel like that's kind of an important part of that guy's personality. Not personality. I can't really think of the good words. I'm not English, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I can't think of the words. But you understand what I'm getting at. It's like, it's not a good sign for the character of this person. I take it as a red flag. Sorry.
What was the point? This was settled professionally. And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you fucking rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. Well, I mean, for what? Cody? Why? Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch as Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone. You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
That's... Ooh. There's a lot to unpack there. That's a really weird way of putting that. We all know the tweet, right, that he made where he, like he said, said minor, edited it out, said edited it back in, and then I think he did it 2 more times. That's really suspect. Okay, that's really suspect to do. And then to say, oh well, now, right? Oh well, but she's over the age of consent. That can still mean minor. They're not the same. Because the age of consent, I looked it up. If you don't believe me, the age of consent in the United States, in the majority of states, is 16. In 6 states, it's 17. And in the rest of the United States, only 11 states is it 18. It's 16 in my country as well, for example. Now, I'm 38. If I'd be messaging a 16-year-old, legally, I would be fine. Morally, that's a whole nother ballpark. So that, and the way he says that here is rough. Like, and I'm not saying, like, I'm not taking sides. Like in my last video, like, oh, someone's like, oh, you have a hot take. What's my hot take? Like, wait and see till some actual proof on either side comes out. Why am I the one with the hot take here, guys? Like, that's crazy, alright? That is not a hot take, alright? That should be the default stance. Okay? I'm not gonna lie. That comment annoyed me for like 2 minutes, alright? But it's like, yeah, when you word things like this, that's rough. Because here's the thing, right? If that Cody guy literally did what you said, then you can sue him and win. So is he gonna sue him? I would guess yes, right? Because, well, let's continue, obviously. There's more to come, but you gotta sue this guy 100%. If you're in the right, you gotta sue him. Or leak your messages. Because he has them, right? Obviously, he has them. They went to court over them, apparently, right? That means you've got them, or at least your legal team does. As a judge was... Again, I'm jumping again a little bit. But yeah, you gotta sue this guy. 100%, dude. Like, if what he says is true, you gotta sue him. And yeah, the fact that you said age of consent, right? That's really creepy and morally a very gray zone. I'll put it that way, right? But that's legal, right? And then that means the other guy is defaming you, and you've lost opportunities over this, guaranteed, right? Clearly, he's got demonetized. He got fired from his company, essentially. Well, fired. They split, I guess. Like, he's definitely lost millions on this, right? Because the arbitration alone is gonna cost a pretty penny as well. The arbitration, sorry, the legal team, right? He's lost so much money, guaranteed.
You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban. You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. Your bullshit accusations gave false courage to other former Twitch employees to make shit up as well. I suspect all of you sort of planned and coordinated this attack. These big-time publications, these journalists, these various outlets are sort of just gossip channels now, don't you think, champs?
I honestly don't disagree with this at all. Right? He's 100% right here. I could even see like when the accusation he made of like, oh, they probably coordinated it. Maybe not coordinated. That's probably not what happened there. But I can totally see like, oh, he's like a big voice. He leans. What the hell? As I was saying before the technical difficulties, I totally agree with this, but I don't think Twitch would be like coordinating behind the scenes, and not just Twitch, like the journalism channels and stuff as well. He's like a big voice, and he leaned right, and that is a big no-no these days for some of these publications, if not most of them. I honestly totally agree with him on that. Like, they saw an opportunity to dunk on him, and they did, right? I kind of agree. Like, but it's, you can't blame them, can you? Like, that's news, bro. Especially when you admit to it. Not the sexting. Sorry, I misspoke. Like, when you make a tweet that seemingly admits to a bunch of shit that people are saying. You literally said yourself, you messaged the minor, and then leaning on inappropriate message them in a leaning on inappropriate kind of way. Bro, you shot yourself in the public square with that statement, which I said in a video back then. Why would you do that? Like, now you're fighting it, but you admitted to, at the very least, inappropriately messaging a minor. Okay, she was over, he or she, because we don't actually know that, was over the age of consent. So, 16 or 17. Because otherwise, you would say they were over 18. You wouldn't just go, you wouldn't use the phrasing age of consent legally, right? That's really suspect. Okay? So it's like, obviously, when you make a tweet like that, people are gonna dunk on it, and if they lean in the opposite political direction that you have, they're gonna dunk on it a million times more, right? And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Obviously, I think that's a really bad thing. I despise tribalism, which is actually on full view in this case as well, because you have, again, a lot of people in the public square immediately think this guy is guilty, and whatever he says here will not matter at all. And a lot of people will think the opposite. And sadly, those people are both wrong. Because the one side, the accusers, have never actually given us any solid evidence whatsoever. The only evidence, quote-unquote, that we have that he did inappropriate things is himself. It's his own tweet. Apart from that, we had nothing. And his evidence is not forthcoming either, right? Obviously, I pre-watched this, so somewhat know what I would say. He does not give any evidence. We'll go through it, obviously. I'll stop when I get there. So keep that in mind. Like, he doesn't actually give any evidence.
They act like they're just gossip channels now, without any real journalism and real research happening. They report on all this based on leaks from 2 former Twitch employees. One of whom was supposedly on the trust and safety team. If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth. But apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had firsthand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, 1, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And 2, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM. I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images. Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh?
This I don't believe. I'm going to be very honest. You would not do this. Because again, you shot yourself in the public square. Like, you stood up on a soapbox, put a gun to your head, and pulled the trigger. Figuratively speaking, not in real life. YouTube, don't fuck me over. You ended your career. You admitted to inappropriately talking to a minor. Right? What do you think people are going to think when they read that? Obviously, they're going to think the worst, because that's how people are. They always assume the worst, right? So in the public eye, which is the only eye that matters, when your job is the public eye, you killed yourself. I don't understand why you're, like, acting like, oh, it was bait. Bait for what? To throw away your career? I don't understand. Like, I really don't. Like, maybe this is the 5D chess everyone keeps talking about, but this is really dumb, in my opinion. Okay? Like, why would you admit to something you didn't do?
Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. I mean, how would each of you look if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words? And this is not a situation where a victim publicly accuses someone of wrongdoing. That never happened here. We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were legal! You see, I engage with my community. I engage with other streamers. And through Twitch Whispers, I communicate with Twitch users. Conversations that consisted of a variety of playing games and gaming politics, content creation, random stuff. This was the extent of my whispers with this Twitch user. On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged whispers with the Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because for years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years. I'm talking no front page love. You're talking about the face of the platform, right? Literally. The face of the platform. And I know Champions Club remembers this. We got zero front page love on the website. He was never on my channel. He didn't follow me on Twitter. He wouldn't even inform us about Twitch rival tournaments. We're talking about the two-time Twitch rival tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you want to play in it? We got zero support from this guy. And it was just so obvious that he carried a grudge against the two-time. So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. And just a few
I kind of want to see evidence of all of this. How can you comment on this, right? This could be complete made-up air, and it could be totally true. Like, again, no evidence is given from either side.
months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence?
Like, again, if any of this is true, you can sue the fuck out of them, no? Like, am I losing my mind? We're taking crazy pills here. Like, why the hell did you not sue these people into oblivion if what you're saying is true? It would have cleared the air in a, well, not in a hot second, and it would cost money, obviously, but he's got the money. And again, it's either you sue the crap out of them, or you leak the messages. How else are you gonna redeem yourself? I don't see any other play here, right? You could just keep your head down, and continue with what you were doing. But I don't think that's gonna work. Just look how polarized this is on Twitter, right? Like, a lot of people do not give a damn about what you say, and you're just guilty. And to a bunch of people, you're not. But if you want to get back to where you were, right? On top of the hill, basically, king of the hill, you need sponsorships. You need actual deals. And unless this gets cleared up, I don't think you're like going to be able to get them, right? This is like one of the worst allegations to have against you. You could kill somebody and have less of a hate. Does anyone remember the literal murderer that looked like a model and half the planet lost their mind over him? Like, in the oh my god way. Like, you can literally kill someone and you'd have more sympathy, and you'd have more of a chance at redemption or whatever you want to call it than this than the allegation that that's been levied against him. So it's like, this is all you have to sue them, or you have to leak the messages. And I already know
The messages, show
people want.
show the message, release the messages, show the messages.
What are we in second grade?
so he clearly
People
does not
show
want
the
to
message,
release the
release
messages,
the
right?
messages.
It's very clear he does not want you to read those messages, which leads me to believe, it might not be illegal, but it would be bad for your image if those messages came out. That's an assumption that I'm making here, right? But that's what it feels like. So your only option now is to sue and win. Because if you lose, it's over as well, right? Like, you live in the public eye, and most of the public eye hates your guts right now. I don't know. I'm glad it's not me. I'll put it that. This is like between a rock and a hard place, right? Because if you did in fact lean inappropriately, a lot of people they're automatically done. It is what it is, right? It might be legal, but that doesn't mean anything to the public, right? The whole innocent until proven guilty, as well, as you can clearly tell from both sides of this, that doesn't exist in humanity, right? In the human populace as a whole. It's guilty until proven innocent. People make up their minds, they think you're guilty or innocent, and then there needs to be proof to persuade them from that position, right? Whether they think innocent or guilty. If you don't bring proof, if you don't do something to redeem yourself in that public eye, that is not gonna change. Like, he's super charismatic. His character is actually fantastic, right? As a content creator, he's hilarious. But these are some serious allegations that if you really did troll and play into them on purpose, that wasn't the smartest move, in my opinion, because you polarized it. There's so many people that think you're guilty. There's so many people that think you're innocent, and none of them seen any evidence whatsoever. Not from you, not from them. By them, I mean the accusers. So you have to release the messages, or you gotta sue somebody and win. What other option is there? Like, you can keep your head down and get money off of the fans you have left, but be prepared for like a whole lot of vitriol as well, right? That's sadly that's how the internet is. Just look at Boogie 2988, and the whole lolcow situation. It's a crazy story. I'm here for the crazy story. I'm not gonna lie. This is like super interesting content. I personally despise tribalism, right? And I'm seeing it very clearly here on the left side, on the right side. And I don't mean that in a political sense. I mean that in you know, on side A, side B. They're both having it, because there's people that think he's guilty and will not be persuaded in any way, like even if evidence comes out that he's indeed innocent. And there's people that think he's innocent, and even if evidence comes out that he's quote unquote guilty, they will not change their position either. So you do have the tribalists that will, you know, never be changed, which is why I'm here. Because I find this super intriguing, right? Because what evidence do we have that he in fact did it? His literally the only thing I can think of is his own tweet where he said, I messaged the minor and it leaned inappropriately.
The Twitch user tells the ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged. On June 24th, 2020, Twitch's Special Operations team receives and reviews the user's report.
So, you gotta release the messages, okay? If any of this is true, you can sue the fuck out of them, right? So you either, actually no, again, if you sue somebody, there's a massive discovery process, obviously. So if he sues, we probably will, he has to kind of release the messages already, at least to the courts, right? Again, and maybe you can get that through like a Freedom of Information Act then. So that would essentially be releasing the messages. So I don't understand why you don't release the messages now. You have to sue them, right? If you don't sue them, your reputation is not in the dumps, dude. You have no reputation left for 90% of the internet, if not more. I don't actually, arbitrary numbers. You have to just release the messages then. If you don't want to sue them, release the messages. Because if you sue them, the messages get released anyway. So I feel like just release the messages and then sue them. Boom.
They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team. That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. He had it out for the two-time.
Bro, I keep thinking, like, if any of this is actually, like, again, if what he says is the truth, imagine how that destroys you in real life, right? As a person. Holy fuck, dude. Like, I can only imagine the stress. And I've known my fair share of stress, okay? I had a mental breakdown over it. I can only imagine what this would do to me. You know what I mean? So, on the one hand, I really want to feel sorry for him. But on the other hand, I have not seen any evidence either way. So it's like, how can I feel sorry for him? He's done nothing to disprove any of this. Because all I'm getting right now is a story that you're telling me. I have no, you're not giving any evidence, which is kind of nuts. If any of this is true, you have to sue the crap out of these people, bro. Like, evidence and the truth shall set you free. I hate that, but it's true. Like, this story is wild. Like, this is the wildest story in a while, right? Besides the Mr. Beast thing, which is even wilder because there's enough evidence there. Holy fucking shit. Okay. That dude is sick.
He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team. So a day later, on June 25th, the LER analyst pulls the entirety of the Whisper messages and begins discussing them with his director of the LER team.
Is that legal? Can you just pull people's PMs? Wait, what did Mr. Beast do? Well, not Mr. Well, technically, there's been a whole lot of alleging about Mr. Beast as well. But he has this friend that worked for him. Emphasis on worked. That was, yeah. He was definitely inappropriately messaging minors. We've seen the logs.
Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind you, I went through a multi-year, a big-time arbitration. Okay. And,
yeah, see? He was gonna say multi-million, alright? Which means you have such a... If any of this is true, you have such a case for defamation because you lost millions off of the back of this claim.
You know, you discover a lot of stuff. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time. The LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the Whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't. Within less than 1 hour, this LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. Twitch submits a report to NCMEC. You guys all read those little articles, huh? The NCMEC. Twitch submits that report. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. As far as I know, they didn't escalate Twitch's report.
See, I also think that's a big thing, right? Which means he was legally in his right. As far as we know. Again, right? No real... Again, we're only taking people's words on this, right? Like, we have no actual proof of any of this. Well, actually, this is confirmed. Sorry. This part I do think is confirmed. So again, sue the fuck out of these people.
To law enforcement. Mind you, the same people that made this decision admit internally that the messages did not constitute sexting. The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted they did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's fucking unbelievable!
I still come back to it. If any of this is real, just sue them. You have to clear your name somehow, because this ain't it. This isn't gonna help. For the reasons I explained.
I'm not going to get into every detail regarding my legal case. But these former Twitch employees that claim to have firsthand knowledge, they just don't have a clue. They didn't report any facts. The judge in the case determined that the whispers were not illegal. So then why did Twitch use these messages against me? Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from their other streamers? I mean, outside of the obvious. I mean, just take a look at me. Right? Unfiltered.
Well, let's be honest. The way it was framed was legally of age of consent. Which again leads me to believe that's 16 or 17. Again, we looked it up, right? Most states in the United States, the age of consent is 16. In 6 or 7 of them, it's 17, and in only 11 is it 18.
The realest motherfucker in this industry. 6'8", gorgeous, athletic, successful, college degree, college athlete, bourbon business, gaming studio, beautiful family. And trust me, we've worked hard for over a decade to improve as a person, a husband, and father, and to get where we're at today. I mean, I'm in such a good place today. And all these people, they all act like they're just so perfect. I'm not perfect.
Again, dude, imagine what this does to you as a person. Like
I
in
don't
real
claim
life.
to be perfect. Sometimes I do. But I also didn't do all the shit that they're saying I did.
I think it's wild. He's like responding in character, kind of. Isn't this like the perfect time to break your character? This one time, I feel like your life kind of hangs in the balance, literally, or your professional life. I put it that way, not your actual life. Distinction.
But then that doesn't make a story, right? They wanted media attention. The media wants controversy. And by sensationalizing all of this with big, inaccurate headlines like sexting and sexually explicit, you all got what you wanted at the expense of the tube time. The reality is, they wanted to cut down the doc. Plain and simple. Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. Example number 1. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming, which constitutes a violation of Twitch's policies if accompanied by hateful intent.
Well, this is massive.
Twitch
What about
scheduled
his
a meeting with the streamer to ascertain his intent to determine whether his contact was a violation of Twitch's policies.
I don't really care about
Ultimately,
this.
determining it was not a breach of Twitch's policies.
Doesn't mean
Why
it's
wasn't I
bad.
called
I'm
into
just
a-
saying it's irrelevant
into a
to the
meeting?
situation at hand.
Why wasn't my intent taken into consideration, champs?
Ain't nobody perfect. That's for
Example number
sure.
2.
Like, don't get me wrong, right? I have no horse in this race. I'm here for essentially drama. I'm kind of drama farming, but it's mostly because it's so fascinating to me how people can be either for him or against him when we have no evidence. Either or. Isn't the position I take most of the time by being on the fence, isn't that the right position in this case? I'm so yeah. That's why these type of stories attract me.
Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals and discussing pedophilia, all while live streaming. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract.
Like, yeah, that should never have happened.
Example number
Clearly.
3. Streamer
But
was reported for a sexually explicit stream
this
involving
doesn't have any
children
bearing on the
and telling
case at hand.
children to send Snapchats of them playing with themselves. Never suspended, but instead, given a multi-million-dollar contract. It's so obvious that certain Twitch executives, employees involved had personal biases against the doc and used all of this as an opportunity to terminate my contract. Go back and look at the timing of all this too. The doc's termination lines up with two preferable, profitable, and expensive streamers leaving Mixer. As soon as Twitch knew that Mixer had failed, and go look at the timing, these other expensive streamers needed a new streaming platform. So Twitch rushed through its decision to terminate the two-time.
I think this could be true. Again, no evidence, but like it wouldn't be hard to believe that this is true, right? That's what aboutism. I agree with you, but that's what aboutism, right? Is this some? I totally agree with you. I'm not gonna lie. You are 100% correct, right? But in this case, that doesn't matter either. You know?
You see, I shouldn't even be banned from Twitch. It has affected us on so many levels. Back in 2020, and now in 2024. And Cody, Connors, I just have to say it again. Why would you do this?
You have to sue him. I really think you do.
Like I said, this was handled professionally years ago. No fucking wrongdoing. But because of you, Cody, we just lost. Fuck, man. Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society.
Again, dude, you have to sue him, bro. If any of this is even remotely true, you have to sue him. Like, 100%. Oh, yeah. But, no, yes and no. Okay, like, he... Essentially, like, let me read your comment for the... I never consumed this content. They fucked him really royally, I must say. Yes and no. He fucked himself. Why would you make that tweet statement where you admit to leaning on the inappropriate, messaging a minor? You shot yourself in the public square. I don't understand. I didn't understand then why he said it. I don't understand now why he said it. Especially now with this I don't even know what to call it. His side of the story that he's giving us now. That's I don't understand that decision. It's an insane story, right? On both sides, from all sides. And obviously he's done some weird shit. Any streamer has done some weird shit on stream. Like almost all of them. And most of them are fine. But he admitted to doing something that leaned on the inappropriate and didn't elaborate further, leading people to believe the worst. Because that's what people do. They will think the worst. They won't be like... The way I try to be mostly, do we have any evidence of this? Do we have like, oh, he said it himself? Okay, that's rough. But he didn't say X, and he didn't say Y, and we still haven't seen the messages. We need to see the messages. We need to see the messages. Or you need to sue the fuck out of them, which then means we get to see the messages. Or because that'll guarantee come up in Discovery. But if what you're saying is true, multi-million-dollar arbitration, you have to fire people from a company that you owned. He's not publicly associated with it. I don't know if he's still associated with it behind the scenes. I don't want to speak out on that. But clearly it's affected you financially in a massive way. You have to sue. If you want your public image back, you have to sue.
Because of you, Cody.
I want to point out as well, that Cody Connors guy, I checked his Twitter to see if he had a response. No response. but his bio, and I don't know when that was changed, his bio states still not sued. So he's playing into that. This is a fucked up story, dude. Like, and I think I mean, I've said it 20 times now. I think if any of this is true, you have to sue. This has the... Yeah, for the public image. Obviously, for the public image. Legally, it's solved. Legally, it was done. It was escalated to a government instance. The government instance did nothing. So legally, seemingly, it's done. He's in the clear, so to speak. But nobody on the internet gives a... Almost nobody on the internet gives a flying F about legally. It's the court of the public opinion. And right now, a bunch of people think you're guilty. And if you want to change that in any way, shape, or form, you have to release something, or you have to get a lawsuit going. He's probably doing it for money. I don't see how. Because the only guy he can sue, right, is the Cody Connors guy for defamation. Because anyone after his tweet, after the tweet he made where he admitted to leaning on the inappropriate texting a minor, and not sexting, texting a minor, PMing a minor, I guess. That's after that, who can you sue for defamation? You can't say X and then the people that parrot X afterwards sue them. That's not how that works, right? So I don't see how you can get money out of this, especially when releasing that statement in the first place is what got your money, what got a lot of your money suspended as well, right? Because if you don't release that statement, did he get banned after or demonetized after or before that statement? I actually don't know that. That would be an interesting thing to look up. For the internet, it's a sensation because finally something shocking is happening again, and therefore they will run this until people puke. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm part of it too, right? I'm not gonna lie. But I think it's genuinely fascinating, like this type of story. Well, in a horrible kind of sense, I suppose. Like on all sides, whether one side is true or the other side is true, it's horrible all around, right? But clearly one of these people is lying. Because they can't both be right. Right? They're diametrically opposed positions. So somebody is lying.
You know, through all this, we are where we are. And like a fucking man, I'll accept it. What I don't accept is sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations. No. For all these doc haters out there too, oh man, the ones that project and project and project and project and worry about everyone else's problems, right? I can't understand that mindset. I could care less. We've always stayed in our lane. But somehow, some way, these people, they just get in our lane. For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll just like dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do. I'll say this isn't for you. This was for my team today, my community, my friends, la familia that have supported me. And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there. It looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch user thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize. All I know is that I never did what Twitch, Cody Connors, or the public is claiming that I did. That's it. I'm not saying anything more about any of this, right? Unless I need to, because trust me, I have more I haven't disclosed.
I think he needs to. I'm gonna be honest.
I just want to get back to what we do best. Put on a show. And climb our way to the tippity top of the mountain, man. In our own lane.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a crazy story. And full disclosure, I actually like the dog, right? He's hilarious. As a content creator, that dude is... He is where he's at for a good reason, alright? That dude's hilarious. That being said, right? I don't see any evidence either way. We've not been given evidence. We've been giving he said, she said. And for me, that's not enough, right? I need to see some actual evidence, for either way, right? Whether he's guilty or not. It's a crazy story. And I don't think we've seen the end of it. But I don't think he'll ever release the messages, right? He doesn't seem like he wants to. Because there's a big difference between legally acceptable and morally acceptable in people's minds. I'm thinking with no evidence, right? Just a gut feeling, I guess, or where my brain ends up, I suppose. Trying to analyze all of this he said, she said, that the messages look bad. But they're not illegal, right? But again, how much does legality matter in the court of public opinion? Very little, I fear. That's it. That's the story so far. I'm hoping. No, that's the bad. I don't mean it that way. Like, I'm guessing we'll see more of the. We'll see more because there's no way this is over. This didn't address anything really. Factually, I mean, like, it's all. Let me tell you my story without showing you. Show, don't tell, That's my 2 cents. I'm sure I'll get dragged for this opinion too, right? What a hot take. I'm sitting on the fence, holy shit, right? Alright, thank you so much for YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back whenever something else happens. You know how it goes. But for now, this is the end of the YouTube video. Thank you so much. Come check out the stream. We stream every day. Every damn day of the week. Pirage.tv. No, twitch.tv/Pirage. Maybe say the URL right. Peace the fuck out. Thank you so much.